Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. We are continuing with the series of reacting to these care pamphlets or leaflets, whatever you want to say. So today we're doing the Syrian one for the Pets at Home and RSPCA collab that they did 7 years ago, and they still are advertising these and putting them in the shops, I still believe. I haven't been in Pets at Home since I got this, I don't think. So I don't know if they've changed it. Hopefully they have updated it. I don't know what that was. I was trying to cross my fingers, but it didn't work. Anyway, I'm filming this all on the same day, so I'm wearing the same clothes. So that's why I'm still in the same clothes and same spot. So let's get on with the Syrian Hamster one. I'm not going to go over all of the points because most of them are the same as the Dwarf Hamster one. So if you haven't seen this one, I'll link the video in the description. So go and check it out. So, it's so confusing with all this thing. Syrian hamsters as pets. Syrian hamsters are nocturnal, so they spend most of their day sleeping and become active in the evening and at night. Not always true. They can be crepuscular or crepuscular. I'll put the definition again up here on the screen. And they do not like being disturbed when they are sleeping. True, do not waken them up. If you want to see them and they're not awake, leave them, just let them do their thing, because it can actually disrupt their sleeping pattern if you keep waking them up. So just let them wake up naturally. Syrian hamsters can make good family pets if cared for properly, and with patience and gentle handling they can become tame and enjoy spending time with their owner. Syrian hamsters generally live to 2 or 2.5 years. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. It's usually like 1 or 1.5 to 2 years. Dwarfs, in my experience, usually live a little bit longer than Syrians, but also I got my Syrians from Pets at Home and they all died from certain illnesses. So yeah, I love Pets at Home. Do I like company? Syrian hamsters are naturally solitary animals, which means that your hamster will need to live alone. That is true. They will fight to the death most of the time, or just injure each other if you keep them together. Their territorial nature will lead to fights if they are kept in pairs. True. If you'd like to have more than one hamster, consider keeping dwarf hamsters. Not true. Please do not consider keeping dwarf hamsters as pairs. Or other species such as rats, mice, or gerbils, as they naturally live in groups. Not dwarf hamsters. They do naturally live in groups in the wild, but they're not the best in captivity. And yes, that's a good point, that if you really want a social animal, like an animal that you can live in groups, consider having rats, mice, gerbils. They like living at least pairs, but it's always recommended in like groups of 3 or more. Or you can get not gerbils. Well, you can get gerbils, but you can get guinea pigs or rabbits as well. And they're really nice, but obviously you might not have the space for that. So just think about, what kind of animal you really want and do the research on it first. You'll need to provide your hamster with companionship by spending time interacting gently and positively with them each day. I don't think that's necessarily true. Again, like I said in the last one, they don't usually need human interaction. Like, some may really like it and like being handled and like running up and just sitting on you or whatever. I've seen that before, and even like hamsters sleeping on you, but not all of them. They are prey animals. They may feel quite vulnerable. And again, I'll leave Victoria Raechel's video about ghost hamsters in the description in case you want to check that out. Where do I like to live? Syrian hamsters need a lot of exercise, so buy as big a cage as possible, ideally with a deep plastic base and wire top. Wire sides will allow your hamster to climb the bars of the cage, a favourite pastime. No, it's not really a favourite pastime because hamsters are terrible climbers. If they are climbing, they are bored or stressed or both, and probably the cage is too small. They do not enjoy climbing the bars of the cage. It's probably really annoying because they end up falling down and hurting themselves, especially monkey barring, where you see them going across the roof and hanging upside down and they're like, ooh. So if they're doing that, that definitely means you've got too small of a cage. And even if it's like just 620 square inches here in the UK or just 450, they may still be climbing the bars and you may be thinking, well, why are they doing that? Because especially Syrians, they are very, very kind of like, not like needy, but they do like a lot of space. So I'd definitely recommend a bigger enclosure than your minimum in the country for Syrians especially, but obviously dwarfs as well. A multi-level cage will allow your hamster to climb and make the most of the space in his or her cage. Okay, I really, really, really do not recommend multi-level cages because there's been stories, like really horrific and bad stories about hamsters falling from cages, such as this rosewood one, I think. I can't remember what it was. I used to have this for my first Syrians, first three, which I regret. And they have changed it a bit, like they made the wheel bigger, but still just small, like you can get really small ones, it's tiny. And I had the 3-level one, which I'll put up there. And I didn't hear these stories until afterwards, after I finished using it, and I've got rid of it now, it's been destroyed somewhere. And it was like they would be at the top level and then they would fall all the way down to the bottom and like break bones, like legs, ribs, whatever, have neurological damage and other horrible things that I don't really want to get into, like death and stuff. So if you have like a cage that meets the bare minimum or bigger and it does have like a level or two, I'd recommend having a border around it, like either not using it, but if you want to utilise all the space, put like a lollipop stick border or something around it high enough so they don't want to jump off or anything like that. Also give your hamster tunnels and toys in his or her cage to explore. Cover the floor with a thick layer of wood flakes deep enough for your hamster to burrow and dig in. As you heard there, they said wood flakes again, they're not like being specific on what's safe and what's not safe. Deep enough for your hamster to burrow and dig. Notice how they said burrow in that one. In this one, they only said dig, which again suggests about an inch, maybe 2, because they can dig in that, they can just move it about and dig it into a pile. But burrow is different because usually burrow means that they can actually go all the way under and go in and out and make like burrowing systems like they would in the wild, so that suggests more like 4 inches because that's how big the pans usually are, like 3 or 4 inches. They weren't that big back then. And then they say sawdust is not suitable as it can make hamsters ill. That is true, and considering this is a Pets at Home collaboration kind of care guide, I'm surprised they put that in. But still, people go ahead and buy the sawdust bale because it's cheap and it's, you know, like, it's an easy option compared to the other safe beddings they sell. The reasons for this is because they put the paper bedding like Carefresh up at £20 or whatever for a still smallish bag, like it wouldn't be able to fit the right depth of bedding in a proper sized enclosure with that bag for like £20, and then they have a bale for like £5 or something. I don't know how much they price is sawdust, but for a lot cheaper, for more, so that their products get sold. And it's true, they cause respiratory infections and they can make them ill, and it's not good. And I really hate that they brought out a lavender bale. Like, what on earth is wrong with you, pets at home? Do you have any brain cells left at all? I don't think they do. Hay and straw should not be used because the tough strands could hurt your hamster's cheek pouches. True, but there's some hays like orchard grass, meadow hay, like softer hays like that, and they're good to keep the burrow structure, and they are soft enough not to poke your hamster's eye or hurt them like Timothy hay could. So just avoid Timothy hay, like the harder hays. And then provide shelters where your hamster can snuggle out and feel safe when he or she is sleeping. These should be dark inside. Again, that's fine. Keep your hamster's cage out of direct sunlight, away from radiators, drafts, or electrical equipment. The cage should be kept in a room where the lights go off at roughly the same time each evening. If you own other animals, make sure your hamster's cage is very secure and kept away from other pets in the household, so the hamster isn't scared by them. True, I mean, that's just always recommended, especially if you have dogs, cats, ferrets, because they're predators. They're gonna smell the hamster and they will probably want to go and see it, because especially dogs are very inquisitive, and most of them will always want to greet or see what's going on. They're a bit nosy as well. But other than that's fine. Again, the what do I eat? Just they're promoting the Pets at Home hamster nuggets, and they talk about the same thing as in there, so about fruits and veg and seeds and stuff. And then they have a little did you know bit that put up on the screen. Did you know hamsters can sometimes run at the equivalent of 4 to 8 miles each evening in the wild? So yes, that is true. So it's like 5 to 10 miles a night, which is why they need such big enclosures. Then they talk about again how to handle like the taming process, which is really helpful for new owners, hamster owners. And again, they're keeping me clean. Clean your hamster's cage out thoroughly once a week with a pet safe disinfectant. If the hamster uses the same area of the cage as the toilet area, then you may need cleaning more often. Again, I've talked about this before. They shouldn't be fully cleaned once a week. Usually do like spot cleans every couple of days, and then a week what I do is that I take all the bedding out, but like I usually put all the clean bedding into the bin cage where I put them in, just to let them sleep or do whatever, just while I'm cleaning. And then I'll fully clean the bottom of the cage just to make sure that I've got all the soiled things out that are in the bed area. But then I'll put nearly all of it back. I don't do like a thorough clean until it's like a month. But even then you're only meant to do like half clean. But usually once a week I top them up on bedding and stuff like that. Cleaning can be stressful, your hamsters, because they use the scent to communicate their territory. So put a small amount of bedding that's been used but it's not soiled and nesting material back into the cage, so your hamster's not stressed out, which is fine. And then they go on about the sicknesses that they can get, and about they need chews, that they're important so that they can keep their constantly growing teeth nice and trim, which is fine. I don't like how leaflets work. And then settling in, again the same as the last one, which I'll link in the description as well. And health and hygiene, all pets can carry diseases. some of them can be passed to people. So always clean your hands with soap and water after handling or feeding your pet. That's true. Or cleaning their cage and accessories, that's it, I couldn't think of the word. Ensure children do the same. And avoid kissing your pet. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't kiss my hamsters anyway, because they'll probably end up biting me, or Frodo would anyway. And I'll always supervise children when they are handling or trying to interact with the pet, which is again a good point, because you don't want to leave a young toddler with a hamster and the chance that they could pick it up and squeeze it or whatever. You don't want anything bad to happen to the hamster or the child, but the hamster. And if you're thinking of looking after a Syrian hamster, you need to do research and research their welfare needs, and you need to be committed to taking care of them for their whole lives. So again, please think about adopting some from a shelter, which is good points as well. And then the 5 welfare needs from the RSPCA is 1. Somewhere suitable to live. 2. A proper diet including fresh water. 3. The ability to express normal behaviour. 4. To be housed with or apart from other animals. For protection from pain, suffering, injury and disease. So like taking them to the vets if needed. Which is nice how they keep this in there, and they have like a little shopping list. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. Anyway, it just I don't know if that's focusing, it's not really, but it's just telling you what you'll need to find. Again, this was made in 2013, so you really just want to be careful with this, because you just have to do your own research, because things have changed and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!